Hello and welcome to the day after St. Patty's Day. As a Chicago Irishman, I will tell you it's one of my favorite holidays. Love that time of year. Hope everyone had a safe and enjoyable holiday and is back at work today, obviously. But, it's a little bit of motivation for me. This is what we call an Irish family heirloom, right? This is a whiskey jar from like the 60s. So, that's what this is. Everyone's like getting creeped out. Like, this is my guy. He's been in my family for, like I said, probably a long time. Mom and Dad, if you know, because I know you're watching, if you know, let me know. I get an age on this guy. So, but he got me thinking. The idea of the leprechaun, what motivates the leprechaun, right, is clearly, besides, potentially cocktails, is the end of the rainbow, right? The pot of gold, motivated by money. And so I started to think about myself in my own life and what motivates me and how that motivation has evolved over time for various reasons. And I thought, we've been getting a lot of engagement recently with everyone on all the platforms, so I want to start throwing questions and ideas out to you guys to see if we can further discussion on certain topics. And so I think motivation is one of them. As someone who no one would really consider me who knows me to be a reader of any sort, I don't read books on it. I don't, that's not my thing. And so I always try to find, people always ask me, what is it that motivates you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? And this sounds so cheesy, but life gets me out of bed in the morning. The idea of now currently being an entrepreneur, running a business, the idea of today's my day to do what I need to do with it. That evolution's come a long, long way. As a young salesman in the car business, arrogance was probably a number one quality of mine. And with it, and because of it, right, or with it, I suppose, money was always attached to it. And so money was my big motivator. I would say I wouldn't get out of bed for $100, or I wouldn't do this, or I wouldn't do that. This idea that the only way to fulfill myself was through money. And that led me down a path of always being driven by it, which for me ended up not so great, because there are times when even the best people hit patches, right? Rough patches. And when you do, if you're motivated by money, it can certainly set you back. So I really look at myself now as motivated by kind of life in general, the idea of being an entrepreneur, but more importantly, what motivates me in social settings, and this again, I know, super cheesy today, but is the idea of making people happy, making people smile, giving them something they didn't have before, right? Solving a problem with them. That is really the coolest part of my job, is being able to help people solve problems. I've always been a problem solver. I love it. So that's what motivates me. But I've seen other people who are super motivated by, by their kids, right? I don't have kids. We consider our business our kid. So I get those as motivations. Freedom to do what you want is a motivation. For some people, I would probably say that my little sister falls in that category. Her motivation for life is to do what she wants to do with her time and travel the world and do these things. And when that happens, she realized there's certain sacrifices she has to make as a part of that motivation. And that's cool, because I struggled with that before. I didn't think I could be motivated by anything but money, because if I stopped being motivated by money, then potentially I would stop making money. And that would cause me an issue down the road, right? So that I didn't care for. I'm also a self-motivator. I don't require others to motivate me. That's not something you'll ever see in a review written about me. You'll see people say, this guy actually needs to slow down. He's got to take his time. He's a little crazy. But it's always because I'm trying to find the next gear. And I'm always trying to do more. And that's important to me, to keep myself driven in that way. My dad tells me, at least, I feel like maybe 2-3 times a year, he tells me, hey, you're working too much. You got to slow down. It's like, first of all, I got to work as long as I can for as hard as I can. But remember this, it looks harder than it is, right? I try to be very regimented, very specific in the way I go about doing my business. So although it appears busy to most, we keep it very controlled. And it's not even controlled chaos, because I don't use chaos as a part of the word to describe anything that goes on at my company. It's very specific and regimented. And that's how we prefer to do business. So the motivation on the business side, right, is to keep it that way and to keep working with people who want to be worked with. Again, if I was motivated by money, I'd sign every client. I don't, because I'm motivated by results. and people actually wanting the help. And so I ask you and to really take time to think about what motivates you. Why do you get out of bed, and how has it evolved? What would the 18-year-old you say about the 35-year-old version of your motivation? Mine would laugh. Mine would be like, that's hilarious. You want time to yourself. You want to be able to go live a life. Like, give me a break. You're here to work. And so, I think that being motivated is important. And I think people talk a lot about motivation and leadership. I don't know that you need to be a rah-rah guy, right? I don't know that's a thing. I think there are people who are really good at that, really what we refer to as hype men, like my boy T. Rowe. He's a hype man. The guy's always kicking it. He's always ready to drop a motivational line on you. That's his thing. And for me, because as I said earlier, I'm not a big reader. T. Rowe is. Every time he's like, dude, I'm reading this book. Check this out. This is what's going on. This is the mindset of people who do this, this, and this. I love that. That's what motivates him, and it's so cool to watch that. So you can tell when people are doing what motivates them. That's for sure. So, look, that's it. Think about it. Then let me know, right? We're across all the networks. That leads us into what we do in our close. You can find us on Facebook, wherever podcasts are done. You can find me on LinkedIn. We're pretty much everywhere. So wherever you consume this information, just hit us up. Let us know your thoughts. We want to hear from you. You can always text, email, phone, 262-278-0157 is the text line. And you've got my email, Sean, SEAN, @carbizdonebetter.com. Once again, everyone have a safe day after St. Paddy's Day. Hope there are no ill effects. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.